Good evening. I hope I am audible, visible. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second session on the new added syllabus for CA Foundation account subject. Now, we already started with one chapter yesterday from the additional part that is bonus issue, right? So today we're going to continue with that. We're going to solve questions. We're going to do problems from that chapter itself, mainly from the ICAI material itself. But I will be sharing a PDF. I'll see how to share it with you. But I will be sharing a PDF material. So I'll be showing the questions over here as well on the screen. I hope everyone has joined the session. I hope we can start the session. Yes. Okay. So yesterday's discussion was with relation to bonus issue. We have already seen this table. So as I discussed yesterday, what do you mean by bonus issue? So sometimes what few companies may do is whatever profits they earn, they might not be distributing those profits as dividends to its shareholders. Rather, what the company does is it keeps those profits by itself, invests that money into different opportunities that the company has, expands its businesses, and then whatever the profits are there getting accumulated in the balance sheet, right? In the balance sheet of the company under reserves and surplus, the profits will start getting accumulated. Accumulated means collected. So such profits are then capitalized. That means it is converted into shared capital. So that uh, process is known as bonus issue of shares. So here we also discussed the Companies Act provisions for this. So which section of the Companies Act deals with the bonus issue of shares? So this is discussed under this is discussed under section number 63 of the Companies Act 2013. So now today we will continue our discussion. Yes, Abhay, I remember you. Uh, so today I will continue the discussion with regards to bonus issue. Let's go forward and see the slides once more. Let's just revise once. So yesterday, as we discussed, mainly excellent. Congratulations, Abhay. Uh, okay, today's discussion is going to be mainly bonus issue. First, in the yesterday's discussion, as we discussed, sir, reserves types. I put the list of the reserves, right? Different types of reserves that a company can have in its balance sheet. What are the different types of reserves a company can have in its balance sheet? So I made a division. We basically divided it into three types. One is the specific reserves, compulsory reserves created for one certain purpose. And then we had semi-specific reserves, which get created because of Companies Act provisions. And the utility also is described by the Companies Act itself. And then we had free reserves. So now for bonus issue, of course, the free reserves are available. Examples for free reserves are general reserve, reserve fund. All those are free reserves. So those free reserves are available completely for bonus issue. Then semi-specific reserve are also available provided it is given in the Companies Act that you can use it for bonus issue. Right. So if it is given in the Companies Act that you can use it for bonus issue, then you can use such reserve. So we saw under semi-specific reserves, there were reserves like capital redemption reserve. Now I told you, I will tell you what capital redemption reserve is in detail when we do redemption of preference shares. But capital redemption reserve can be used for issue of bonus shares. Then securities premium has five utilities that also I told you. In that, bonus issue was also one of them. Then we had capital reserve, which also can be used for bonus issue. Now, security premium and capital reserve can be used for bonus issue only when it is received in cash. Okay, for bonus issue of shares, it can be used only when it is received in cash. Generally, in the question, and security premium without cash also can be actually utilized for unlisted companies. Okay. Great, Abhay. We'll see how we can do that. Right, wonderful. Thank you, thank you. Now, I was telling you about the security premium account. Security premium account can be used by unlisted companies because it is SEBI guidelines which says that I'll give you notes for it, but not very relevant from our exam point of view. Security premium we will always use for bonus issue. ನಮ್ಮ questions ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು use ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. But security premium for cash can be used. That much you remember. For without cash also, if you have credited security premium, you can use it for unlisted companies because that condition of for cash is put under SEBI rules, not under the Companies Act. So therefore, you can use it for unlisted companies. SEBI rules are not applicable to unlisted companies. It is applicable only to listed companies. Okay. So even if the question generally tells us about listed companies only, so securities premium account we will use if it is for cash only. Uh, and capital reserve also, if it is in cash, we will consider it for security for bonus issue of shares. General reserve, revenue reserves, P&L, surplus accounts, all these are free reserves. There is no problem with using these reserves for issue of bonus shares. Absolutely. Okay, now the sequence for utilizing these reserves. So when you're converting the reserves into shares, I will have to do it in a sequence, right? There will be so many reserve accounts, so we will have to follow a particular sequence. Now, what is this sequence going to be? First, we are going to utilize CRR, Capital Redemption Reserve. Next, we're going to use security premium account. Then we're going to use the capital reserve account, and then the free reserves in any order. So free reserves can be utilized in any order. Yes, Abhay, how do you intend to do that? We are happy to hear if you have anything to say. You can put it on the chat box. Now, some important points, some important notes. This revaluation reserve also comes under the semi-specific reserve, but we can't use this for issue of bonus shares. I told you about revaluation reserve yesterday. If you remember, revaluation reserve is a reserve created out of upward revaluation of assets, and you can use that revaluation reserve only and only if the assets have to be downward revalued tomorrow. So you can use that reserve balance to reduce the value of uh, the assets tomorrow. Then you have, if the question is silent, assume this is what the institute does. Securities premium is realized in cash ಅಂತ assume ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Capital reserve not realized in cash ಅಂತ assume ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So security premium, the question will be generally mentioned, but if the question is not mentioned, okay, security premium mentioned ಮಾಡುದಿಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲವೊಮ್ಮೆ, assume that it is received in cash and utilize it. Capital reserve, don't touch it unless they mention it. ನಾನು live examples ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ when we do questions. Free reserves are reserves which are available for distribution of dividends. So what do you mean by free reserves? How do you define free reserves? These are distributable profits. So you can utilize it for distribution of dividends. Such profits or such reserve accounts are known as free reserves. I hope I'm clearly visible. I hope there's no background noise, right? There are plenty of pet dogs around me here. So I hope you're not getting disturbed by it. Unlisted companies can use security premium for bonus issue even if it is not realized in cash. So, as I told you, security premium can be used for issue of bonus shares in the case of unlisted companies, even if it is not realized in cash. So, you can take these points down quickly. Tell me once you're done, right? Okay. I hope we're done writing. Now, the provisions of the Companies Act we will go through once quickly. So, provisions of the Companies Act is Section 63. I have already discussed all of that Section 63 in different ways with you. But we'll just go through the bare law once, what the Act says directly. We will read once. A company may issue fully paid bonus shares to its members out of its free reserve, security premium account, and capital redemption reserve account. No issue of bonus shares made no issue of bonus shares may be made by capitalizing reserves created by revaluation of assets. So you can't use revaluation reserve for issue of bonus shares. No company shall capitalize its profits. That is, capitalization of profits means bonus issue. Uh, unless it is authorized by its articles, so must have mentioned in the articles of association. It has, on the recommendation of the board, been authorized in the general meeting. So board must have authorized it first, and in the general meeting of the shareholders, it must have been authorized there. That means they should have passed a resolution to do so. It is not defaulted in payment of interest or principal in respect of fixed deposits or debt securities issued by it. So, if you have taken any loan or if you have accepted any deposits from the public, ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡೋದು ಔಟ್ಸೈಡರ್ಸ್ಗೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡೋದಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಸೊ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಔಟ್ಫ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಉಂಟು, ಅವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಎಂತ ಹಣ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಉಂಟು, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಫಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದ್ರ ನಂತರ ಬೋನಸ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್. It has not defaulted in respect of the payment of statutory dues like provident fund, gratuity, and bonus. So statutory dues in town to kodlike, all that also should have been given first employees again, towards employees, towards the government, even the taxes and all of that must have been paid by the company on time. The partly paid up shares are made fully paid up. So we discussed this point yesterday specifically, saying that if you want to issue bonus shares, you can issue it only against fully paid bonus shares. So if there are any partly paid bonus shares, you have to convert them into fully paid bonus shares, and then you can issue. If there are any partly paid shares, you have to first convert it into fully paid shares, and then you can issue bonus shares to such shareholders. Okay, bonus shares shall not be issued in lieu of dividend. So dividend, you have to give dividend. You can't say that instead of dividend, you can't make a claim like that. Dividend non bonus shares no. It's not considered as dividend. Bonus shares are not considered as dividend as such. Bonus shares is a separate concept. Dividend is a separate concept. So if you have issued some bonus shares, that's not considered as dividends. You don't have to take this down. That's all. Disclosure in the financial statements and the balance sheet. Under share capital head, we generally give a disclosure if there are any bonus issues. So disclosure relating to the bonus shares must be given in the financial statements in relation to the bonus shares issued. So you have to specifically give a disclosure saying that we have issued bonus shares to the existing shareholders and what ratio you have given. That ratio also is to be mentioned. How many shares you've given, that also can be mentioned. How many bonus shares are given. So now we will discuss the journal entries for it. Let's come to the business end of our discussion. Bonus shares, very easy entries, nothing difficult over here. Remember, all we are doing is you the balance sheet format. Under the balance sheet format and liability, shareholders funds. Under shareholders funds, I have share capital and I have reserves and surplus. In this, all we are doing is, when I say bonus issue, when capitalization of profits, all I'm doing is I'm converting reserves and surplus to share capital. That's all I'm doing. Both of these are capital accounts. Both of these, the golden rule applicable for both of these category of account is when it goes up, we credit. When it goes down, we debit. So all we are doing is we are going to reduce the reserves. That means you're going to debit the reserves. Reserves ಇರಬೇಕು, balance ಇರಬೇಕು ಆ reserve ಅಲ್ಲಿ. So balance ಇದ್ದದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ, ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ, and then I will increase the share capital. So reserves and surplus ಅನ್ನು ನಾನು ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ share capital ಅನ್ನು ನಾನು credit ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. That is all we are going to do over here. Journal entry is also there only. It is closed. Very, very simple journal entries. So you have to follow the sequence. I've discussed the sequence. Can you tell me the sequence on the chat box? Everyone, I want how many ever can do that on the live chat box? Tell me the sequence. What is the sequence for bonus issue? Which reserve account should be first touched? Second ಯಾವುದು, third ಯಾವುದು, fourth ಯಾವುದು, ಯಾವ sequence use ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? Put it on the chat box, please. I'm waiting. Yes, fantastic, Sami, Deepak. So first, we have to touch the CRR, capital redemption reserve account, then the security premium account. Yes. Then the capital reserve account. Then if there are any free reserves, you guys must have free reserves, right? So free reserves and utilize ಮಾಡಬೇಕು next. So then we don't directly debit. We don't directly credit. Sorry, we don't directly credit the share capital. We credit announcement ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಬೋನಸ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಡ್ಯೂ ಎಂಟ್ರಿಯನ್ನು ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡುದು. ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ದ ಬೋನಸ್ ಟು ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. Bonus to shareholders account. Okay. Next, while issuing the bonus shares now, we will debit this bonus to shareholders account. Debit. Yes, yes, that's right. Meenal, Abhilash, Pradyumna. To equity or equity share capital. Generally, it's equity share capital. Account is credited. So look at these entries. If you look closely, this account is credited over here and this account gets debited over here. So this account is basically a dummy account. Just for the time being, it is kept in that account. This is passed on the announcement date. When the bonus is announced, that entry is passed. and this is for the issue. So ultimately, that bonus to shareholders account gets nullified. So the net entry is reserve accounts are debited and the share capital is credited. So this is how you convert reserves into share capital. Very simple. Now let's take some questions and let's do some questions for this. These questions are there in the ICAI material as well. Almost all the questions are borrowed from there. Probably one question I've borrowed from some other uh, institute's database, only some other place. I don't remember where, but you can find all of the other questions from the ICAI database. So please, if you have the textbook with you, tell me the question number in the ICAI material. It could be your illustration question or it could be practice question. So if you find it in your textbook, put the question number in the textbook. Page number also would be good. Okay. Following items appear in the trial balance of Bharat Limited, a listed company as on 31st March 2023. So you see here 40,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each, 4 lakhs. Capital redemption reserve is 55,000. Security premium collected in cash 30,000. General reserve 1,05,000. Surplus, that is credit balance of profit and loss account, is 50,000. The company decided to issue equity shares to equity shareholders, bonus shares at the rate of 1 share for every 4 shares held. And for this purpose, it decided that there should be the minimum reduction in free reserves plus necessary journal entries. See, they'll always give like this. There must be minimum reduction in free reserves, minimum reduction in free reserves. So we follow that technique, right? I told you the sequence. So that sequence will always lead to minimum reduction in free reserves only because we will give free reserves last priority. ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಸಿ ಆರ್ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಸ್ ಪಿ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಪ್ರೀಮಿಯಂ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಿ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅದು ಸಾಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಫ್ರೀ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ ಸೊ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಫಾಲೋ ಅವರ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ it will always be the last free reserve. So it will always lead to minimum reduction in free reserves. So let's do this. Very simple question. First, we will have to do a small working, okay, on small note around okay, before we draw the journal format. And then you can start with the journal entries. So let's see what is the working. Calculation of, you can write working note. Calculation of amount of the bonus issue. Always when you do a bonus issue question, do this first. This is illustration 1 in your ICI material. Calculation of amount of the bonus issue. Okay. Now let's look at the question and let's see how many bonus shares am I going to issue. There are 40,000 equity shares right now. The company has decided to issue bonus shares at the rate of 1 share for every 4 held. So issue 1 for 4 held. How many shares are being held? 40,000, right? So cross multiplication. 40,000 into 1 divided by 4. How many shares am I going to give as bonus shares? 10,000. Number of bonus shares to be issued is equal to 10,000 shares. You can show the cross multiplication. Okay. Now, these 10,000 shares should be issued as what? Fully paid shares, right? We saw section 63. It says that you have to issue fully paid bonus shares only. So, fully paid shares. What is the face value of each share? 10 rupees. So, amount of the bonus issue is equal to 10 rupees, no? 10 rupees into 10,000 shares. What will be the amount? Rupees 1 lakh. So now I will need 1 lakh worth reserves because bonus issue is made out of reserves, right? By capitalizing reserves. So I will need rupees 1 lakh worth reserves to issue bonus shares. ಒಂದು ಲಕ್ಷದ reserves ಬೇಕು ನಂಗೆ. Let's see if we have those many reserves. Let's analyze what reserves we have. So we have capital redemption reserve is there, security premium is there, general reserve is there, surplus. That's P&L account is there. So we have four reserve accounts. Now, which one am I going to give the first priority? ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ first priority ಕೊಡಬೇಕು? CRR. So CRR ಅಲ್ಲಿ total ಎಷ್ಟು ಹಣ ಬೇಕು reserves ಇಂದ how much money do I need from the reserves? Like total 1 lakh. CRR does not have 1 lakh. CRR has only 55,000. So on your calculator, you can put 1 lakh minus 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ಬೇಕು ನಂಗೆ ಈಗ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಬೋನಸ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 55,000 CRR fully utilize ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. Next, securities premium, it is collected in cash, so there is no problem. Absolutely, 30,000. I will utilize all of these 30,000. How much more do we need? So 1 ಲಕ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ 55,000 CRR ಆಯ್ತು, 30,000 security premium ಆಯ್ತು. We need another 15,000 rupees. So now, where do we get that 15,000 rupees from? There's general reserve, there's P&L account. Where do we get it from? You can get it from anywhere. There is no, both of these are free reserves. There's no restriction as to this should be taken first, this should be taken next. There's no restriction at all. So that 15,000 rupees can be debited to any of the free reserves. ಯಾವ ಫ್ರೀ ರಿಸರ್ವಿಗೂ ಬೇಕಿದ್ರು ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. 5,000 ಒಂದು ರಿಸರ್ವಿಗೆ, 10,000 ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ರಿಸರ್ವಿಗೆ, ಹೇಗೆ ಬೇಕಾ ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಫಾಲೋ ಒನ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನೇ ನಾನು ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜನರಲ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಸೊ 15,000 ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. You can have alternative answers. I can debit the surplus account also for 15,000. I can debit proportionately 5,000 here, 10,000 here. I can do it like that also. So there is no particular answer for this. It is left to the board of directors in the company. But we will general reserve and debit ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So free reserve ಯಾವ account ಇಂದ ಬೇಕಿದ್ರು ತೆಗಿಬಹುದು. Okay, let's write the journal entries. Journal entries in the books of Bharat Limited. Draw the format of the journal. Very chotu sa format. We don't have much entries to do, just 2 entries. Okay, I hope we're done with the format. Let's start. First, dates are not given when the bonus issue is announced and all the data is not given. So directly I'll write the entries only. Capital redemption reserve. How much balance was there in capital redemption reserve account? 55,000. No, I will utilize it fully. Then the full use ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. Security premium account. We had 30,000 in securities premium. Then remaining, I will debit general reserve. 15,000. How did I get this 15,000? This is 1 lakh minus 55,000 minus 30,000. Where did I get that 1 lakh from? That's the amount of the bonus issue. We've done the working note first. No, to find out that amount of the bonus issue. To bonus to shareholders. Being bonus shares announced to the equity shareholders in the ratio of 1:4. Next, go on and issue the shares. Shares and issue ಮಾಡುವ. I hope we're done with this entry. What is the second entry? Second entry is to credit the share capital. Bonus to shareholders account debit. To equity share capital. One lakh. Being bonus shares issued. That's it. We're done. So these are the entries. Very simple, no? Next. Past journal entries in the following circumstances. Question number 2. This is also there in the ICAI material. You can tell me the question number once you find it. In the following circumstances, okay. A limited company with subscribed share capital of 5 lakhs consisting of 50,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each. Called up capital 7.5 per share. A bonus of 1,25,000 declared out of general reserve to be applied in making the existing shares fully paid up. What do we call this as? This also I had discussed yesterday, if you remember. Today I did not revise, but what do we call this as? This is illustration 2 in your ICI textbook. We call this as bonus call. Okay, bonus call, where we convert the partly called up shares into fully called up shares. So read the question again. You'll understand what I'm saying. A limited company with a subscribed capital of 5 lakh consisting of 50,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each. Called up capital is 7.5. So there is 10 rupees is the face value of the share, but so far it's partly called up. Only 7.5 is called up. 2.5 is yet to be called up. A bonus of 125,000 declared out of general reserve to be applied in making the existing shares fully paid up. So ಇದ್ದ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೇ ಈಗ ಹೊಸ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ, ಬೋನಸ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದು. ಇದು ಇದ್ದ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೇ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಪೇಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಇದ್ದದನ್ನು ಫುಲ್ಲಿ ಪೇಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡೋದು. That's what we are going to do. So you can 1,25,000 ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ amount directly, but you can calculate. It's 2.5 rupees is yet to be called, right? Out of 10, 7.5 has already been called, so 2.5 is still baki, pending. So 2.5 into how many equity shares do they have? 50,000. So 2.5 into 50,000. So you need 1,25,000 reserves. You don't have to do the working note. First, we do the working note, right? We don't have to do that. They have only given 1,25,000 rupees is required, and general reserve is there. No other reserve. So for bonus call, yesterday we had discussed already. Bonus call ಯಾವ್ದೆಲ್ಲ reserve utilize ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ. Bonus call ಗೆ CRR use ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ, securities premium use ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ, general reserve, capital reserve use ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, but it should have been received in cash. Then general reserve anyway you can utilize it. So here there's no problem with all of that. Directly they have only told out of general reserve they're going to use it. So let's pass the journal entries. Second question. Journal entries in the books of, I'm not sure how you interpret it. A limited company. It's not a limited, it's a limited company. So it's not the name of the company. So the name of the company is not given. So I'll just write journal entries. And there are two cases. So I'll write this is the first one, right? We are solving the first one first. Okay. Let's go. So first, general reserve, the entries are same. It does not change. General reserve account is debited. So 50,000 shares into rupees 2.5, 1,25,000 to bonus to shareholders. Account 1,25,000. Solving the first one here, so you can write here. First one. Being announcement of conversion of partly paid shares into fully paid shares recorded. Next, bonus. We're not done. Bonus to shareholders. Account debit. Two, it's equity shares. So two, equity share capital. One lakh 25,000. Done with the first part of the question, being bonus call adjusted. Second question. Can I read the second one? Under the second question, sub question two. I hope we're done. Are we done? Are you all there or am I talking to myself? Are you all there? Are you all listening? Yes. A limited company having fully paid up capital of rupees 50 lakhs, purely given fully paid up capital of 50 lakhs, consisting of equity shares of rupees 10 each, had general reserve of 9 lakh. It was resolved to capitalize 5 lakh out of general reserve by issuing 50,000 fully paid bonus shares, section 63. Bonus shares issue ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊರಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Each shareholder to get one share for every 10 held by him in the company. Okay, now let's read it again. Let's interpret what they have given carefully. A limited company having fully paid up capital of 50 lakh consisting rupees 50 lakhs. This is an amount, rupees 50 lakh consisting of equity shares of rupees 10 each. So how many shares are outstanding? 50 lakhs divided by 10. 5 lakh shares are there. Had general reserve of 9 lakh. Okay. It was resolved to capitalize 5 lakh out of general reserve by issuing 50,000 fully paid shares. They are only telling us how many shares they are issuing. So 50,000 shares they are issuing into 10 rupees. One share ka value was face value. So 5 lakh rupees reserves we need. That also they have only told that 5 lakh rupees and now capitalize ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಅವರೇ ಬಾಯ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟರ್ ಮುಟ್ಬೇಕಂತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 50,000 ಬೋನಸ್ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ 10 rupees into 5 lakh reserves ಬೇಕು again working note is not required because the question itself has calculated everything and given of rupees 10 each. Each shareholder to get one share for every 10 shares held. So ratio is given, but it is not relevant for me for calculation. Narration ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಬರಿಬಹುದು ಇದನ್ನು ಜರ್ನಲ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನಂಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಇದು ಬೇಡ because they have only given how many shares are being issued. There are 5 lakh shares. So 1:10 ratio, 50,000 shares you will get. So they have only given all of this. So you don't have to calculate this as such, but just confirming, right? Bonus issues of one share for every 10 held. There are 5 lakh shares. This we calculated. 50 lakh divided by 10 rupees, 5 lakhs per day. So 50,000 shares in the bonus shares in issue marta. Okay. Let's go for the entries directly. What reserves do we have here? ಯಾವ reserve ಎಲ್ಲ ಉಂಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ? What are the reserves we have? Again, I think we have only general reserve. How much balance is there in general reserve? General reserve list balance unto 9 lakhs. How much do we need for the bonus issue? Bonus issue we get to make get 5 lakhs. So we have enough money in the general reserve, so we can go ahead. This is second one. General reserve account debit. I'm reducing my reserve 5 lakhs to bonus to shareholders. Five lakhs. Being bonus shares announced in the ratio of 1 is to 10. 1 for every 10 held, right? Done. Next bonus. Shareholders account debit. 2. Equity share capital. Five lakhs. Done. That's it. Is this clear? Let's look at the third question. This is not there in the ICA material. You can just click a screenshot of this. This is with regards to the bonus call. Bonus call is only the question it took ICA material. So I've added one more. Let's do this. Following items appear in the trial balance of ABCD Limited as at 31st March 2023. 40,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each, rupees 7.5 paid up. So 2.5 is not yet paid up. These are not fully paid up shares. Capital redemption reserve is there. Plant revaluation reserve is there. Security premium account, general reserve account, profit and loss account, capital reserve, including 25,000 being profit on sale of machinery. Okay. See this, I will tell you one important point. Listen. When they give capital reserve in the question, we assume that that capital reserve is not for cash. ಆಯ್ತಾ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು assume ಮಾಡುದಿಲ್ಲ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಪ್ರೀಮಿಯಂ ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಪ್ರೀಮಿಯಂ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ವಿ assume that this is cash, but this capital reserve is not assumed to be for cash, but ಅವ್ರು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ 25,000 being profit on sale of machinery. So this 25,000 rupees is assumed to be in cash itself. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಮಷಿನರಿ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಹಣ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಅದು ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನೀವು ಹಣ ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀರಿ, ಸೊ ಅದು ಕ್ಯಾಶಿಗೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಯಾವುದು 25,000 rupees. So out of the 75,000 rupees, 25,000 rupees would be considered as if it is cash because it was because of sale of machinery. And when you sell machinery, you get cash. So that is considered as cash, 25,000. The remaining 50,000 is non-cash. So ಅದು ನಾವು ಬೋನಸ್ಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ಬೋನಸ್ಗೂ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಬೋನಸ್ ಕಾಲಿಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬೋನಸ್ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. I hope everyone has understood this. So out of the 75,000, 25,000 is for cash and 50,000 is non-cash. Security premium is fully cash, no problem, the 35,000. Now let's see what the company is doing. The company decided to convert the partly paid equity shares into fully paid shares by way of bonus. So they're just converting. Hosa shares and issue ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವರು. They're just converting these shares. 10 rupees share 2.5 ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾಕಿ ಉಂಟು. So 2.5 into 40,000 ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕು ನಮಗೆ? ರಿಸರ್ವ್ಸ್ 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ಬೇಕು. Okay. While necessary general entries, it is this desired that there should be minimum reduction in free reserves. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತುಂಟು, ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಡುದು ನಾವು. ಅವರು ಅಧಿಕ ಪ್ರಸಂಗ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ we know it already, right? Okay. So now this is a bonus call, guys. Be careful when you do a bonus call. Bonus call ಗೆ sources ಅಂತ. Can I use capital redemption reserve for bonus call? The answer is no. Capital redemption reserve can be used only for bonus issue of shares. Fully paid bonus shares ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾನು CRR ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Security premium ಕೂಡ ಹಾಗೆ. I can use it only for issue of bonus shares. I can't use it for bonus call. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ 39 ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಾನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. But I can use capital reserve and I can use free reserve. So ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಉಂಟು. We do have capital reserve in cash. How much capital reserve in cash do I have? Extent of capital reserve in cash. We have capital reserve in cash to the extent of 25,000 rupees. So we needed a total of 1 lakh, right? How did I get this 1 lakh? You wanted to convert 2.5 partly paid into fully paid. So 2.5 rupees into 40,000 shares. So we needed 1 lakh rupees of reserves. Conversion ಗೆ 1 ಲಕ್ಷ reserves ಬೇಕು ನಂಗೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು I will utilize 25,000 of capital reserve and 75,000 ಇದು ನಂಗೆ free reserves ಬೇಕು. General reserve 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ಉಂಟಲ್ಲಿ P&L account 50,000 ಉಂಟು. Now we have to go to the free reserves, right? Free reserves ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವೀಗ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗ ಜನರಲ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಉಂಟು P&L ಉಂಟು. ಆಸ್ ಐ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ಡ್ ಎರ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಮುಟ್ಬಹುದು, ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೂ ಮುಟ್ಬಹುದು. There is no restriction on this. Both of those accounts are same. Naam alag alag hai, purpose same hai. So it doesn't matter which account you consider. We will take the general reserve. We need 75,000. We will debit it to the general reserve account. So you can just write a note when we start the solution. Amount of calculation of amount of the bonus call. One lakh. Okay. Journal entries. Draw the format. Have they given the name of the company? ABCD Limited. Capital reserve account. Debit. Security premium is for cash, but for a bonus call, I can't use the security premium. I can use only capital reserve. This is a bonus call. I can use only capital reserve in cash. I can't use this. ₹25,000. Then I'm going to need another 75,000 for which I will be debiting. Can I debit the plant revaluation reserve? 10,000 is there in plant revaluation reserve. Can I utilize the plant revaluation reserve? The answer is no. Okay, plant revaluation reserve cannot be used. This also cap CRR for bonus call no, security premium for bonus call no. This to the extent of 25,000 yes, rest no. Then you have general reserve, P&L account you can utilize. Let's go to the general reserve account next. I'm going to utilize all of 75,000 from the general reserve itself. To bonus to shareholders. being next transfer this to share capital. Being bonus call me. Is this clear? Okay, that's all. Done. Now we'll do a question where they have asked the balance sheet also. So this is a classic question. There are so many questions like this in your ICA material. We'll do a couple of them in the class and rest you can try later. Following notes pertain to the balance sheet of Solid Limited as of 31st March 2023. Authorized capital is given 10,000, 12% preference shares of rupees 10 each, 1 lakh, 1 lakh equity shares. Okay, 1 lakh, it has come twice. 1 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each, 10 lakhs. Next, you have issued and subscribed capital. I hope you know what this means. Authorized capital means the maximum shares that the company can issue. Then you have issued capital. Out of those maximum, how many shares they have issued? That is known as authorized. Sorry, issued capital. This is okay. That is known as issued capital. Out of the issued capital, how many the public or the shareholders have applied for is known as subscribed capital, right? Or is to subscribe ಮಾಡಿದಾರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು subscribed capital ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. Then you have called up and paid up. If the question is, in your inside this one, they would have given called up, paid up, value voucher. The question is not mentioning anything. That means it's fully called up and paid up. That's what we consider. Okay. This is illustration 3 in your ICA material. Illustration 3. Beautiful handwriting. Okay. That was not English. That was French. So now authorized capital 10,000 preferences issued, otherly 8,000, 12% preference shares have been issued of rupees 10 each, fully paid. Okay, so it's fully paid. Then you have 1 lakh equity shares, out of which 90,000 equity shares of 10 each, 8 rupee paid up, 7,20,000. Fine. General reserve is there, reserve and surplus only, revaluation reserve is there, security premium is collected in cash, profit and loss is there, 2,05,000. Secured loan, 12% debentures at 100 each is also there. On 1st April 2023, the company has made a final call of at 2 per share, 2 each on 90,000 equity shares. See, the equity shares were not fully called up. only 8 rupees was called up and paid up. So now they have given that on 1st April 23, the company has made a final call, 2 rupees each on 90,000 equity shares. The call money was received on 20th April 23. This is not a bonus call. This is a normal call. The company has made the call. People have paid the money. So the call money was received. So this is not a bonus call, a normal call. Okay. Thereafter, the company decided to capitalize its reserves by way of bonus at the rate of 1 share for every 4 shares held. So that is why they had some partly called up equity shares. They converted them into fully called up shares because they wanted to do a bonus issue. So as per Section 63, one of the conditions for bonus issue is if you want to do bonus issue against existing shares for the existing shareholders, such existing shares must be fully called up. So that's why they converted those partly called up shares into fully called up first, and after that they're going to do a bonus issue now. So thereafter, the company decided to capitalize its reserves by way of bonus at the rate of 1 share for every 4 held. Remember, bonus issue is done for subscribed capital, not authorized capital. Authorized capital, there is a maximum capital. Bonus shares now, ಯಾರ್ shareholders ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. So 1,90,000 ಮಾತ್ರ shares issue ಆಗಿದೆ. So 90,000 again now we have to find out that proportion. 1 share for every 4 held. We'll do that later. Show the necessary journal entries. Okay. And prepare the extract of the balance sheet immediately after bonus issue, assuming that the company has passed necessary resolution at its general body meeting for increasing the authorized capital. So they might have to increase the authorized capital. Let's see why they have given that last sentence. It's understood. We will understand that why is it given and how much should we increase. Look at this. Bonus issue. What is the ratio of the bonus issue? What have they told? Bonus issue with the ratio. 1:4, right? How many shares are there? 90,000 shares are existing shares are there. So now if you cross multiply, bonus issue is 2 shares but the 90,000 into 1 divided by 4. So how much will that be? 22,500 shares. See, already 90,000 shares were there. Now I will issue another 22,500 shares. So total 1,12,500 shares after bonus issue. But authorized capital was only 1 lakh. Equity shares was the authorized capital. Are you following? Authorized capital was only 1 lakh. But after bonus issue, it will be how much? 1,12,500 to the total shares. Hey, again, 90,000 shares already ಇತ್ತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ 22,500 ನಾನು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಹೊಸ shares issue ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. So 1,12,500 after bonus shares ಆಯ್ತು. So 112,500 ಆಯ್ತು bonus shares. But ನಮ್ದೀಗ existing shares authorized capital ಅಂದ್ರೆ maximum shares I can issue as per the memorandum of the company is only 1 lakh. Total, it can be 1 lakh. Now, after bonus issue, it will be 1,12,500 shares, outstanding shares, which will be in violation of the memorandum. We can't do that, right? Authorized capital kinda ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ issued capital. The issued capital cannot exceed the authorized capital. So for that, I will have to adjust my authorized capital. Shareholders have to pass necessary resolutions, have to have the discussions, necessary resolutions pass ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದರ ನಂತರ ಮಾತ್ರ we can go ahead with this. So how many more ಎಷ್ಟು increase ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅವ್ರ authorized capital? How much should they increase? Right now it's 1 lakh. So how much should they increase the authorized capital by? They have to increase the authorized capital by 12,500 shares, not 22,500, 12,500 shares ಅವರು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ 12,500 ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು 90,000 ಇದು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ shares ಇತ್ತು ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಇತ್ತು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ issued shares for there. 22,500 bonus issue ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಈಗ. So 1,12,500 will be the number of shares after bonus issue. So ಇಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ತಂದು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ನಾನು. Can we do 22,500 ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು? ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. But the question is silent, right? So we are going to minimum 12,500 ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. ಅವ್ರು 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ಇದ್ದದ್ದು 1,12,500 ಆಗ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. Because after bonus issue, it will come up to 112,500. So minimum 12,500 jasti ಮಾಡಬೇಕು authorized capital. Have you understood what I said? Have you all followed this? Yes. Let's write a note first before we go ahead and pass the journal entries, prepare the balance sheet, and all of that. Working note one, calculation of amount required for bonus issue or amount of bonus issue. Number of bonus shares. ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೋನಸ್ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊರಟಿದ್ದಾವೆ ನಾವು ದಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸಿದಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ವಾಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ರೇಷಿಯೋ 1:4 or 5 of one share for every four held. 1 4 we have 90,000 shares. Equity shares ಮಾತ್ರ ನೋಡುದು ನಾವು company issue bonus shares. In the journal entries, we will first make the call. No, ಆ 2 rupees call ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, fully paid ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಅದ್ರ ನಂತರ ಇದನ್ನ issue ಮಾಡೋದು. I hope you have listened to my discussion from the beginning. So I need 2,25,000. Reserves ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ make up to the 2,25,000. Okay. Now let's start. Okay, one more working note I will do and I will go to the journal entries. Authorize the share capital. We'll have to adjust the authorized capital, share capital. No. How many equity shares are there? Existing equity shares ಎಷ್ಟು 1 lakh ಅಲ್ಲ, sorry. Existing equity shares issued 90,000. Bonus shares ಎಷ್ಟು issue ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ನಾವು? How many bonus shares am I going to issue? 22,500. Total shares after bonus 1,12,500. Existing authorized capital S20 currently authorized capital S20 equity shares is though 1 lakh. Therefore, increase required 12,500 shares. Namgir, we need this number. I thought the new authorized capital will be this much. Authorized capital will be 1,12,500 shares. Okay, draw the journal entry format, please. Journal entries in the books of Solid Limited. Okay. Let's begin. Before I go to the bonus issue, non-bonus issue ಮಾಡುವ ಮುಂಚೆ, I will finish off that I can't issue bonus shares as it is because right now it is partly paid shares. We will have to first make them fully paid shares. For that, the company has found a solution. Don't do bonus call ಅಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡೋದು. ನಾವು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ಗೆ ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So let's do that. Books of Solid Limited. So you remember the due entry for calling due entry and talk. What is the due entry for call? Normal call due entry. What is the due entry? Share, equity share, final call account. I don't know if it's first or second or third final call. So I'm just going to say equity share final call account debit to equity share capital due entry. Rupees 2 into 90,000 shares, which is 1,80,000. 10 rupees and 8 rupee was already collected, 2 rupee was outstanding. So that 2 rupees we have called up from the public now, from the shareholders, of 90,000 shares being final call money due. We're also going to receive that money, right? On what date, by what date have they said they're going to receive the money? They're going to receive that money by 20th April. So I'm going to write 20th April over here. We're going to receive the money. The journal entry will be bank account debit to equity share final call. 1,80,000. being final call money received. Done. So we have successfully converted it into fully called shares now. Next. Thereafter, the company decided to capitalize its reserves. Okay, now we're going to go to bonus issue. Bonus issue gets to ಬೇಕು ನಂಗೆ total 2,25,000 ಬೇಕು ನಂಗೆ. Let us see what reserves and all we have, what and all I can utilize. 2,25,000 rupees ಇದು ಬೇಕು ನಂಗೆ bonus. I had done working note one and calculated this. So let's look at the different reserves we have. Reserves and surplus. So there is general reserve, last or evaluation reserve. Can I touch evaluation reserve? The answer is no. Securities premium, I can, but is there CRR? CRR unta? There's no CRR. Profit and loss account is there. Okay. General reserve, profit and loss account, I can touch. Let's start with the security. Security premium, it's collected in cash. So 2,25,000 is what I need total. Correct? No, 2,25,000. In that 20,000, I'm going to take security premium. So I need 2,05,000 more. 2,05,000 in the kuda beku. General reserve unto P&L unto. I can completely use P&L only, but we can use the general reserve also. General reserve 1,60,000 I will utilize. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಜನರಲ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಲಾಜಿಕ್ ನಮ್ದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬೇರೆ ಎಂತ ಲಾಜಿಕ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಪಿ ಎನ್ ಎಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮುಟ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ಜನರಲ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಇನ್ನು ಕೂಡ 45,000 ಬೇಕು ದಟ್ 45,000 ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಪಿ ಎನ್ ಎಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. Okay, date of the bonus issue is not given, so I'm not going to write the date. Date kodlilla, that's why I'm not going to write the date. So securities premium account debit. How much is the securities premium account? I think it was 20,000. Then general reserve account debit 1,60,000. Then I'm going to debit profit and loss account debit 45,000. To bonus to shareholders. Two lakh 25,000. Being bonus shares announced in the ratio of 1:4. Next, bonus to shareholders account debit. To equity share capital account. Done. That's it. ಓನರ್ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಯ್ತು. ಈಗ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಜರ್ನಲ್ ಎಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಈಗ. Shall we do the balance sheet next? Balance sheet extract only can be done. Asset side ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. Extract ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು part. So we just show one component of the balance sheet. We call it as an extract. So in this case, now I'm going to show only the liability side. That too, mainly I'm going to show dates are not given for bonus issue. Dates are not given, so I did not write the dates. Okay, so liability side, I'm going to show off the balance sheet. Schedule 3 format ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. And we have to do the liability side because share capital comes on the liability side, reserves and surplus comes on the liability side. So if there's any other data on the liability side, I will put it. Like I think in this question they've given debentures, so non-current liabilities and the earlier debentures, but it is. Apart from that, nothing else is required. Let's do the balance sheet format. Extract. Notes to accounts also will have to be done. Notes to accounts only. This is important. That disclosure needs to be given. What disclosure am I talking about? That the bonus shares have been issued and third sentence very big. That disclosure you have to write. Remind me to give you the disclosure. As I'm growing old, I tend to forget things. So it's your duty as young citizens of the country to remind your sir wherever required. What is the name of the company? See, I forgot the name of the company. Solid Limited. Balance sheet. Extract. Bonus issue. The dates ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, so I'm not going to write the balance sheet date. Just going to write balance sheet extract. Note number and amount. Particulars. Equities and liabilities. You're not supposed to say okay when I say old. You should say no, sir. What, sir? You're just 2, 3 years older than us. Why are you calling yourself old? That you should say. Equities and liability. Liabilities. Under this, first, share capital. Sorry, shareholders' funds. Under this, we have share capital. And then we have reserves and surplus. Then look at that, whatever data they have given, see if there's anything else that I can write. So all this will come under share capital note. Now note ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ share capital. ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ reserves and surplus ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ. Then there is this, so this will come under non-current liabilities. Debentures. Under non-current liabilities, it comes under long-term borrowings. We will write the notes for each one of these. Now, next we have to do the notes to accounts. two amount columns I've drawn, inner amount column and outer amount column. First note is for share capital. Under this, first we write authorized capital. Okay, now look at the question. Authorized capital 10,000, 12% preference shares of 10 each. No need for a comma there, just leave some space. Don't write 10,000, 12%. 10,000, 12% preference shares. What is this 12%? What does it signify? It signifies the face value of the share. Okay, it is face value of the share. Outer column directly you write 1 lakh. Underline it. Why do we underline it? So whenever you are underlining something, that's basically what it means is don't consider it for the ultimate totaling. Because share capital is the total ಮಾಡುವಾಗ authorized capital now considered ಮಾಡುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. Only paid up capital is considered for totaling. So this is just for disclosure. ಇಷ್ಟು authorized capital ಉಂಟು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ. For disclosure purposes only I am writing it. So we have to always underline, okay, whenever we are writing any information which should not be used for totaling, it's just for disclosure. Ha, equity shares, it was 1 lakh equity shares. Have I increased the equity shares authorized capital? Have I made changes to the equity shares authorized capital? Yes, we have. We have increased it, right? How much working note 2 ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ? We have increased it by 12,500 to 1,12,500. We have made it 1,12,500. 11,25,000 now. Underline this. You can total it, but not required. You can just leave it here. Generally, we leave it here. Next, I will go to the subscribed. I'm going to write everything together. I'm not going to write subscribed capital separately. Issued capital, sorry, issued capital first issued ಬರೆಯೋದು ಮತ್ತೆ subscribed ಬರೆಯೋದು. Okay, so I'm going to write everything together. Issued, subscribed, called up and paid up will come here only. ಎಲ್ಲ details ಒಂದರಲ್ಲೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಬಿಡ್ತೇನೆ ನಾನು. I'm not going to write it separately because all of it is same. ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾಲ್ಕು ಕೂಡ same. So that is why I'm going to write it together. So 8,000, 12% preference shares. Preference shares ನಾನೀಗ ಎಂತ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಹೊಸತೀಗ ಇದ್ದದ್ದೇ 80,000 outer column. No underlining it. This should be considered for totaling. Next, equity shares. I have 1,12,500 equity shares now. Oh, you can write over here. This is fully paid. Okay. Fully paid up ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬಹುದು. See this equity shares were partly paid up earlier, only 8 was paid up. But now we have made that to be call and we have made it fully called up 90,000 shares, fully paid up. Also, they've all paid money. And plus, I have also issued some additional shares. So total 1,12,500 shares are there. Bonus issue ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. So 1,12,500 shares will take a fully paid up. That is also fully paid up. So that will be 11,25,000. I hope everyone has understood this. No underlining this. You may total this up. I'm waiting for your reminder. I had told you to remind me something, but doesn't seem like you only remember. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ನಂಗೆ ರಿಮೈಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ ನೀವೇ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯು ಓನ್ಲಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ದಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಡಿಡ್ ಐ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು ಟು ರಿಮೈಂಡ್ ಮೀ out of the above equity shares, how many equity shares were issued as bonus? 22,500 shares. Yeah, disclosure have been issued as bonus shares and no consideration is received. Okay, so 12,05,000. You can write this amount over here. Okay, now one more interesting notice, reserves and surplus. Reserves and surplus. So make a list of all the reserves we have. General reserve. So general reserve, 1,60,000 was there. Have I used this general reserve? General reserve non-utilized ಮಾಡಿದೆ now for bonus issue. I've used it, right? How much have I utilized? ಎಷ್ಟು ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ general reserve ಗೆ? There's a credit balance of 160. I have utilized how much? I have utilized all of 1,60,000 from general reserve. So we'll minus all of that. Utilized for bonus issue. So the inner column will be written on the amount and no, because there was adjustment in that amount. So general reserve is nil, zero. Next, next I have revaluation reserve. Have I done anything to the revaluation reserve? Have we used the revaluation reserve for anything? No, it's as it is. We can't use it also for bonus issue. 35,000. Securities premium. 20,000 was there. There is adjustment. I have utilized for bonus. Full 20,000 has been utilized for bonus, right? So nothing is left. Profit and loss account, P&L account. 2,05,000 was the opening balance. I have utilized for bonus issue. Look at the journal and tell me how much have I utilized for bonus issue. Bonus issue के P&L list utilize ಮಾಡಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ 45,000. So how much is remaining? 1,60,000. Done. Total this up. Then you got total ಮಾಡಿ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ reserves ಇರೋದು 1,95,000. Next, write this 1,95,000 over here in the balance sheet. Long-term borrowings, there's that debentures. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನೋಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಟ್ ಓವರ್ ದೇರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್, ಬಟ್ ನೋಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಚಂದ ಅಷ್ಟೆ. ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಬಾರೋವಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ವಾಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಬೆಂಚರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹಾಗೆ ಬರೆಯುವುದಷ್ಟೆ. 12% debentures of 100 each. What is the amount of debentures? 5 lakhs. Over. Done. No totaling. Extract generally total ಮಾಡುದಿಲ್ಲ ನಾವು. In your ICA textbook, it may have total somewhere, but you don't do it normally because that's not the correct total, right? There are many other items also which have not been recorded. ICA does anything they want, the way but generally extracts are not total. Done. That's all. That's the answer for that question. Are we done? I hope you guys are solving the questions with me, not just looking at the solution like you're watching a movie. Sit and solve it with me. Sir, answer into textbook only. Why should I write it again? No, that behavior itself causes trouble in the future. Don't do that. Don't be lethargic. Don't be lazy. Sit and solve the questions. With me. I'm solving it. So you also solve it in your notebook, right? So apply your mind and sit and do it. Okay, let's go through this question next. The following notes pertain to Bright Limited's balance sheet as of 31st March 2023. So we have share capital, authorized share capital, 20 crore shares of 10 each. Oh, they have given it in lakhs, the amount, 20,000 lakhs. That's basically 200 crores. Then you have issued and subscribed capital, 10 crore equity shares of 10 each, 10,000. So lakhs means you just have to divide it by 5 zeros. Anyway, we'll see what to do. 2 crore 11% cumulative preference shares of rupees 10 each. Then you have 2 crore 11% cumulative preference shares of 10 each, called up and paid up. 10 crore equity shares of 10 each, 8 per share called up and paid up, 2 crore 11% cumulative preference shares of 10 each, fully called and paid up. Okay, reserve and surplus is there, CRR is there, security premium collected in cash, general reserve is there, credit balance of P&L account also we have. So the equity shares are not fully called up, so 2 rupees is still pending. So on 2nd April 2023, the company made the final call on equity shares at rupees 2 per share. The entire money was received in the month of April. On 1st June 2023, the company decided to issue the equity shareholders bonus shares at the rate of 2 shares for every 5 held. It's similar to the question we did earlier, just that you have to be careful about the amounts. We will solve it. Okay, but before I solve this question, let me talk. I haven't spoken to you ever since we started with this class about your preparation and stuff. So, anyway, I just have 20 minutes, 18 minutes left. So I don't think I can solve this question properly. I don't want to do gravity. We can do this later. Uh, let's talk a bit. Let's have a conversation, shall we? So, first of all, we have our exams in June. I hope you've got the timetable. You've seen the timetable. What date does it start? June 20. The exams are starting on June 20. Is that right? June 2024, 2022, 24, 26. Those are the 4 days for your foundation exams. So now I'm sure there are some this batch, right? This batch generally would have issues. Now, for example, when I was in CA finals, I went through a similar stuff. I went through this phase when I was in CA finals. So I was in old syllabus. I had cleared one group of my. Actually, I did not write anything under new syllabus. I had cleared under the old syllabus itself, but okay, no, not exactly your shoes, but something similar. I was worried that the new syllabus was coming, but we had attempts under old syllabus also before. So what used to happen is, institute every time they used to change syllabus before, they used to allow students to write under the old syllabus. Now, if I have failed one attempt, now for example, some of you have failed, say December exams, and next May only new syllabus is applicable, but they'll give you the old syllabus exams they'll conduct. Last time they did for 4 years or 3 years, they conducted old syllabus exams also, along with new syllabus. So, ಎರಡು papers print ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದದ್ದು ಒಂದು old syllabus ಇತ್ತು ಒಂದು new syllabus ಇತ್ತು. So new syllabus is for newly registered students who are writing first attempt and all. For the new syllabus is applicable. For repeaters, they will get a second chance. Or for people who have registered before the cutoff date, they will also get, even if you're writing for the first time, under old syllabus, you get a chance. So this used to be there, but Institute has stopped doing that now. From this change, this time syllabus change, they're saying we're not conducting two sets of exams. So if you're under old syllabus, you have to convert to new syllabus and you have to write it under new syllabus only. We will not be printing two question papers. We will be printing only one question paper, and that will be under the new syllabus. So now what does this do is, this attempt will be a little hard psychologically for the kids. Even if the papers are not, the syllabus change might not impact so much for your preparations, but psychologically there is a pain. I studied all of that, my old textbook and all I studied, and I got 195, I got 185, I got 175, I got so close I came. I got 200 plus. I failed in one subject. And now I have to repeat all the 4 papers, not under the old syllabus. I have to study the new content, new textbook, new, there are new chapters added. Old chapters have been removed. Old subjects have been removed. BCK, BCR, and all is gone. So now there is so much reshuffling. How do I, study? Or will I be able to do this? or there's that gap, that motivational lacking will be there, shortfall will be there, not able to pick up books and study. So this is natural, and this is bound to happen, and it's completely okay if you're going through that phase. There is nothing to worry about. All you have to know is you can do this, right? You can do this. Just do the stuff you're supposed to do. Don't overthink. Don't think too much. Don't entertain negative thoughts. I know it's easier said than done, but trust me, I have been through it. We have all been through it. As chartered accountants, we have seen those days. So it is possible. So that assurance I can give you. Don't say so. It's easy to say, sir. It's difficult to do, and all of that. No, I have gone through what you've going through, what you're going through, right? We've been there. I finished the whole course. So I know all of those feelings, what you are going through. And if you're positive, you can combat those feelings very nicely as well. And tomorrow you'll feel very good about it. So now our task is just concentrating, and trust me when I say this. I'm not saying this just to make you feel better, but I'm saying this because I mean it. There will be friends of yours who probably cleared foundation exams and are studying for intermediate now, and you will feel they have actually gone ahead of you. No, boss, this is CA. The chances are so high that in intermediate, they'll be waiting for you for the next attempt. So they'll not be able, I mean, let's hope they clear exams, but intermediate is intermediate. It's CA exam. So it's not like everyone will clear inter in their first attempt or not. So 80% of them will be there for you when you go to inter, when you're writing exams, they'll be there in the exam center. So don't think people have gone ahead of you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can still catch up very easily. You can catch up. You can also become CA at the same age as your friends who have cleared exams in December, if not earlier than them. There's a chance that you may become a CA even before many of them. If you come back strong from here. So you are not left out. You're not behind anyone. Of course, right now you will feel like that, but zoom out and see, it will happen that way, that many of you will clear, become CAs before people who have cleared in the December attempt. All right. So there is nothing to worry about all of that. Don't take pressure. And because you're studying these added syllabus, internally, what they have done, I will tell you. This problem is there in foundation accounts in the contextual health and enter into contextual health. Accounts only, we have a chapter called rectification of error. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ practice questions ತೆಗೆದು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ rectification of errors ಅಲ್ಲಿ there are questions relating to sale of goods on approval basis. Sale of goods on approval basis. In the new syllabus textbook also it is there. If you take inventories chapter, you will see concepts relating to consignment, concepts relating to sale of goods on approval basis, applicable even in inventories chapter. Okay. Now, imagine a person who is studying foundation for the first time, new syllabus. He doesn't know what is sale of goods on approval basis. He doesn't know what is consignment. But he has one adjustment in the textbook relating to that. In rectification of error chapter, in inventories chapter, in sole proprietor chapter. Now that person is going to be so confused, right? He doesn't know that chapter at all, and he's going to get irritated because of that. This is happening in intermediate as well. Intermediate, these kids are not studying bonus issue. The people who've studied December attempt, they don't study bonus issue. They don't study redemption of preference shares. They don't study redemption of debentures. But there are concepts relating to this. When we study buyback of shares in intermediate, you need to know about bonus issue. When you're doing financial statements of a company, you need to know about bonus issue. You need to know about redemption. But there is no concept relating to bonus issue redemption. So these kids are sitting there clueless, don't know what is happening only. basics say illa. Their basics are very weak, and these are very much required basics to study intermediate. See, transitionally, many kids are finding these things difficult, and on the macro level, it makes a big difference. That problem you guys won't have either at foundation also you won't have because you also know what a sale of goods on April basis. Supposedly if you have studied for December item. So rectification of error equation ko true kuda, you might understand what that concept is. Inventory sale kuda, you might understand what that concept is. So therefore, that problem is not there. And when you go to intermediate also, again, bonus issue related concepts also you will be clear. So I'm making you look at the positive side. Okay. So there are positives to this. Of course, there are negatives to this. There are positives to this. There are both ways to this. So there's nothing to overthink as such. Just look at this as a good chance to consolidate our concepts, and our IQ, accounting IQ will go up because of we studying these many chapters. So you will just feel more confident in the subject. And in the long run, this will have benefits. There might be, very unlikely, or it may sound unbelievable today, but there might be a day in the future, in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, where some of you might say, it was actually good I did not clear foundation in first attempt. I know it sounds very unlikely today, but might be a day for some reason you might say that as well. It might be for the reason being that you might get serious secured because you've not cleared. No, so from here you might clear every exam in one attempt. This has happened with my friends. I've seen that. CPT first attempt pass agila, but Adad they got a punch. Suddenly everything else in one attempt. So there could be that come back also. So there might be that line said in the future by you that it's okay, happens for good only. Now I know why I failed in foundation. I learned my lessons and I'm moving on. So don't think too much. Everything happens for good. You will be able to clear foundation. Just focus on these classes. Now you're very lucky you're getting these additional classes and all. Don't miss. Take it as seriously as regular classes. Set 2 hours uninterrupted. It will become 3 hours in the future. Sundays you will have longer hours. So sit without any distractions. Sit and watch these classes religiously, and write notes to the ICI questions and all of that regularly. So just feel confident going into the exams in the June attempt. Now we have only one goal, clearing foundation in the June attempt, right? So with that, I will end. I will do this question tomorrow. You can just roughly try on your own today. Tomorrow, I will solve it in the class. Thank you. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye.